WCBI News at 6 starts now.
Good evening, everyone. Oktibbeha County supervisors have questions about the work done by the county engineer. County leaders voted to request an opinion from the state attorney general's office about the issue. Rules and regulations from the Mississippi Board of Licensure for Professionals, Engineers, and Surveyors states a county engineer cannot review, approve, or recommend approval of his own plans or documents. The guidelines also state county engineers cannot review, approve, or recommend any plans prepared by any member of the firm of which he is a member. Some county supervisors say that's exactly what's been happening with the work Clyde Pritchard has provided to the county for several years. Supervisors will now wait to hear back from the Attorney General's office. The county reportedly paid Pritchard over $1 million last year. Tupelo police continue to investigate the deaths of two people found in a house Sunday evening. Officers went to check on the couple at their Hibner Street home around 6:15 yesterday. When they got inside the house, they found an adult male and female dead. Investigators say there are no obvious signs of foul play. No one else was in the house. The Lee County Coroner and the State Medical Examiner's Office are assisting in the investigation. Meanwhile, Oktibbeha County deputies continue to investigate the death of Joyce Bostic. The 60-year-old woman's body was found last week at her home on Sykes Road. Deputies were originally called to the house to check on Bostic. The home was partially burned inside. Investigators say they are still piecing clues together in the homicide case. A person of interest does remain in custody on unrelated charges. Coroner Michael Hunt says a preliminary autopsy is not complete. West Point police continue looking for a killer, and they hope someone can help them find that person. Investigators are continuing to search for leads in the shooting death of Jamal Banks Sr. The shooting happened this past November on Low Street. Banks was gunned down outside his mother's home. Police Chief Avery Cook hopes someone will come forward with information. You can call in an anonymous tip to Golden Triangle Crime Stoppers. There is a $5,000 reward for any information that leads to an arrest. A Monroe County restaurant goes up in flames. The fire happened at the Old Holly's Fish and Steak on Sunday night. Several volunteer firefighters reportedly worked to get the blaze under control. Despite their best efforts, the building is a total loss. The old restaurant is located on Bigby Cutoff Road. It was not operational at the time of the fire and had not been open for a while. The cause of the fire remains under investigation.
Some decent weather this afternoon, a bit dreary this morning, but more blue sky and sunshine this afternoon. You can see our time lapse from Durham's at Vernon. Some friendly clouds this afternoon. We pushed the showers farther over into Alabama, just east of our area. And right now we are enjoying a great Monday evening with temperatures in the upper 70s to around 80 or some mid 70s out there. So this evening, if you're heading on out, should be pretty good. Not too bad weather-wise. Our forecast for Noxapater, southern Winston County, we've got some 70s at 7 o'clock, cooling through the 60s into the mid to upper 50s as we get into the wee hours of the overnight hours. Looking ahead, things not too bad as we go throughout the next few days here. Again, lows tonight into the 50s. Your full forecast coming up.
Daycares in the area are opening their doors again, but under strict rules. Our Stephanie Poole joins us in the studio with more on what some parents can expect to see. Stephanie?
That's right, Joey. No parents are allowed to enter the building. Disposable cups and utensils are also required. And those are just a few of the regulations. Staff at TLC Creative Learning Academy are double-checking the COVID-19 child care reopening operational checklist to keep everyone healthy and safe.
Hi! All right, can you stop right there?
Tammy Forrester has owned TLC Creative Learning Academy in New Hope for over 25 years. She never thought she'd greet her students quite like this.
The parents have to bring in shoes with the tag still on them that I actually remove because those shoes stay here at the center and they cannot leave the center.
Forrester says it's a part of the new checklist all child care centers are following. The staff checks the children's temperatures before they come into the building and disinfect their arms and hands. But keeping everyone clean is the challenge.
We try to keep them 6 foot apart. That's not always feasible, but you know, we try. In our toddler room, that's not always easy, but my teachers try.
Only 10 people, including the teacher, are allowed per room. For students 6 years old and up, a face mask is required.
Our dining area is not very big, so that's been another obstacle that we've had to overcome, and now they're having to eat in their rooms, which I'm not really happy with that, but it keeps everybody safe, it keeps everybody separate.
Forrester even had to roll up her carpets to prevent the spread of germs, and all toys and blankets are deep cleaned every day.
One thing I did not like was having to remove my rugs and my soft stuff for the children to be able to, like in the book center, they had bean bags and stuff that they could lay on, and there was some soft furniture, but you know, with this, it's safety first.
Even with the big changes in her daycare, she's hopeful her students will continue to learn effectively.
I do worry, but I can't let fear guide me. And I've told the children that this won't last forever. You know, this season too shall end.
Forrester says she'll continue to follow these guidelines until further notice.
The Mississippi Department of Health is reporting 136 new cases of COVID-19 today. The new cases bring the state's total to over 11,000 cases. 389 confirmed cases are currently hospitalized. The health department says that is the lowest amount this month. 7 new deaths are also being reported today. One of those deaths is in Lowndes County and one is in Yalobusha. Statewide, there are 528 coronavirus deaths. The health department estimates about 7,600 Mississippians have recovered from the virus. Drive-through testing for COVID-19 is coming to 3 North Mississippi counties. Today, testing is underway in Chickasaw County, and then also tomorrow, testing will be set up in Yalobusha at the Oakland Fire Department in Yalobusha County, that is. Then on Wednesday, a mobile testing site will be at Columbus High School in Lowndes County. You must have an appointment to get tested. In order to set up an appointment, you can use the C Spire Health app or call UMMC. You will not have to leave your car while being tested for the virus. We are roughly 3 months away from the start of the fall semester at area colleges and universities, and many are still waiting to find out what the college experience will actually look like on campus or online. WCBI's Quentin Smith speaks with a community college and university about the impact this pandemic could have on student enrollment.
In 2019, the Mississippi University for Women saw a roughly 3.8% increase in enrollment. That brings the total to over 2,800 students. Now, university leaders are hoping that number will remain the same for the upcoming fall semester despite this global pandemic. Now, university leaders are hoping that number will remain the same for the upcoming fall semester despite this global pandemic.
Of course, we want to remain optimistic that student enrollment will either remain the same or even increase, but it's way too early in the game to tell.
Dwight Doty works in the admissions office at MUW and says while they're uncertain about fall enrollment numbers, one thing that is certain is the fact that they're seeing a high volume of students filling out online applications to enroll.
Despite the pandemic, I believe that students are still interested in achieving their academic goals.
Doty says they're preparing themselves as if students will return to campus. That's why the university is using innovative ways such as virtual tours, online orientation, and webinars to help them connect with prospective students.
These methods have allowed us to keep students engaged for the days and weeks to come leading up to registration and classes starting. So we have a phrase that we've started called the W Anywhere. These innovations have allowed us to make the W accessible no matter where students are.
But universities aren't the only ones faced with enrollment challenges. East Mississippi Community College President Dr. Scott Alsobrooks says he expects enrollment to take a slight dip when the fall semester begins.
I think there's a lot of uncertainty. A lot of people might fear getting back into the classroom.
Dr. Alsobrooks says they're offering both online and face-to-face classes this fall, and students can choose whichever option fits them best.
Tuition at a community college is already much cheaper than a university. So even if it's a university student that might be a little fearful of going back to a university campus, they can enroll with us online get the same type courses and save themselves some money, transfer those courses back to the university.
While enrollment is expected to be down early on, also Brooks says that number could soon quickly surge as people look to develop or find a new skill to help them get back into the labor market.
We're going to have those offerings out there for those students that might want to, or those people that might be displaced from the labor market that want to, find their way to the Yokohamas or the PACCAR, some of these great companies that's been recruited to this area by the link. We want to help them solve their human resource issues and keep them at full employment. So we're going to have classes.
Now, MUW has created a task force to decide when students will be able to return to campus at EMCC. Dr. Also Brooks says they are waiving all ACT requirements and current students will not have to pay off their current bill to enroll for the upcoming semester.
A business owner has a possible solution to illegal street racing in Monroe County. We'll have that story coming up on WCBI News.
You're watching WCBI's News at 6 with Joey Barnes.
Welcome back, everyone. Reports of illegal street racing have increased throughout Monroe County. Residents complain of loud noise and unsafe roads because of the races. But as our Allie Martin reports, there could be a legal way for the street racers to enjoy their sport without causing chaos in neighborhoods.
The owner of Northeast Mississippi Motorsports heard about the increase in illegal street racing, so he contacted the Aberdeen Police Chief and the Monroe County Sheriff with a possible solution.
It's just a lot safer out here when it's just two people beside you. One car on each side.
Robert Brown built Northeast Mississippi Motorsports Playground of Power in 1991. He leased the drag strip to another operator, but recently took it back over after hearing about a pressing problem involving illegal street racing.
Some cops come to me and said, what can we do to minimize the street racing? So we started looking into how we could incorporate the racetrack into the street racing, and so we've done that.
Restrictions on public gatherings delayed the reopening of the drag strip, but this past weekend, street racers and racing fans were able to see the action while following social distancing guidelines.
We opened the gates at 7, and at 6:30 when I got here, there was people waiting. But yeah, it's a lot better because they can just all hang out versus, having to run from the cops or whatever. So it makes a lot of things safer. It makes, you don't have to get away from anybody. And then when you race, there's nobody, you can't run into something else. I mean, I guess it's a chance you could hit the other car, but we've never had that happen yet, and we've been open for 30-something years.
A major race set for this weekend had to be canceled because of concerns over the coronavirus. But Brown expects larger and larger crowds as word gets out about the opportunity for safe and legal street racing. In Monroe County, Allie Martin, WCBI News.
Now, Monroe County Sheriff Kevin Crook wasn't available for an on-camera interview, but said, quote, I hope it helps, and I believe it will help some, but I also think some people just enjoy the thrill of breaking the law and don't even consider or care about the danger they are putting our community in, end quote. Well, I don't know about drag racing, but it was a good day to get out for a nice ride around.
This afternoon is fantastic. I'm about ready to get out for my little walk here after this show. Of course, hopefully you can get out there and take advantage here. Tomorrow in Clay County, West Point, Cedar Bluff, we're looking at mid-70s hour by hour. In West Point, we start out in the upper 50s at 7 o'clock, and there you have it, 70s in the afternoon. More clouds and sunshine in the region. I think maybe a slight chance for a shower. Your full forecast is next.
Alert AccuWeather forecast with Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson.
Let's go back to this morning where we woke up to clouds in Louisville, Mississippi. Look at the overcast conditions we had. Now, as we put our time lapse into motion, things changing up nicely today. Clouds gradually thinning, more and more blue sky popping on up. Those stratus clouds turning into cumulus clouds. And we really have no rain out there to speak of this afternoon or this evening. Unlike yesterday, the rain now off to our east, but we had anywhere from 0 to over 2 inches of rain over the last 24 hours. You know it if you got it. The showers now from Jasper and points east here in northern Alabama. We have Arthur moving offshore now off of the Carolinas. We have an upper low down in Alabama. Another one up here in Missouri. Those two will actually combine and just hang out here in the southeast. Look at this for the next few days. Hang out and give us batches of clouds, a chance for a few showers here. The heaviest rain, though, over the next few days will be to our east from eastern Kentucky down into the mountains of western North Carolina and western South Carolina into the Piedmont here. So that's where the heaviest rain is going to be. We may see some showers here over the next few days, but no significant weather anytime soon. Certainly good news for us here locally. Variably cloudy, drying things out tonight. Pretty quiet, lows down into the mid to upper 50s. And our planner for your day Tuesday, upper 50s to around 60 at 7 o'clock. Winds from the west-northwest about 5 to 10. We're going to broad brush a 20% chance for a few showers around here as we get into our day tomorrow. So not everyone will see it. From 82 south, mid to upper 70s for you in the west Alabama, low to mid 70s. And for you up here in northeastern Mississippi, lower 70s, maybe some 60s if those clouds are a little bit thicker. I think a better chance for some showers up in here versus point south. But we'll just see how it all plays out for tomorrow. As you venture to the north and east, as we just mentioned, better rain chances. Farther to the south will be warmer, mid to upper 80s in New Orleans and Mobile. There's our cooler weather pulling away later this week. In its wake will be another surge of heat and humidity just in time for the weekend. And guess what? Summer-like air will return. So enjoy the relatively cool temperatures for Tuesday and Wednesday. 70s for highs, lows in the 50s. The 80s return Thursday. We crank it up a few notches Friday. And wow, we're just stuck in the soup for your Saturday and Sunday and Monday. Upper 80s this weekend. Scattered storms around. We don't envision an all-day washout here, but standard summer fare going forward. Joey?
All right, thanks, Keith. Ole Miss football making moves on Monday, changing up the schedule for the present and the future. More from Oxford next in sports.
WCBI Sports with Tom Ebel is brought to you by your local Ford dealers. Go further.
Well, the future of the 2020 college football season remains uncertain. Changes coming to Ole Miss's season opener. Rebels' opening weekend matchup against Baylor at NRG Stadium in Houston, Texas, has been pushed back to Sunday, September 6th. Rivals Chase Parham was the first to report. For those who love to look ahead, Lane Kiffin is going back to the West Coast. Ole Miss announcing a home-and-home series with the USC Trojans. Rebels going to Pasadena in 2025, and the Trojans coming to Oxford in 2026. Kiffin was the head coach of USC from 2010 to 2013. It'll be the first ever meeting between the two football programs. High school sports in Alabama and Mississippi could be opening back up 2 weeks from now. The Alabama High School Athletics Association announcing they're targeting June 8th as its date to resume summer workouts, but no competition will be allowed for the summer. The Mississippi High School Activities Association will meet this week to discuss whether they'll stick with the June 1st date as the targeted date to open sports up again in the Magnolia State. But here's a wonderful sight for you. Golf being played at Old Waverly in West Point. The Bryan brothers, George and Wesley, hosting a junior clinic, as well as playing around with some of the top junior golfers in the state. Oak Hill Academy golfers Cohen Trolio and Wells Williams playing 18 holes with the Bryan brothers, saying the event was worth the learning experience.
It's been great playing with them and seeing how they go throughout their round and just learning from them.
Of course, Wesley's won on the PGA Tour, so you kind of see and watch how he carries himself, some of the shots he hits. It's impressive.
I think it's a really cool example to see how not only how well junior golfers are playing these days, but also to have these guys answering them questions and talk to them about how their road to get to where they were.
A sad day for the Ole Miss football family. Rebels legend Gentle Ben Williams has passed away of natural causes. Williams joins James Reed in becoming the first African-American student athletes to sign football scholarships at Ole Miss. Williams going on to this day being the all-time leader in sacks and sacks in a single season at Ole Miss. Gentle Ben went on to have a 10-year NFL career, being named to the Pro Bowl in 1983. He was 65 years old. We'll be right back after the break.
We're looking great this evening, mid to upper 70s right now, mostly sunny to partly cloudy conditions. Fabulous weather if you're going to be out here for the next couple of hours. 50s for lows tonight. We're looking at relatively cool 70s for your Tuesday and Wednesday. 80s will return Thursday, and you know what? Mid to upper 80s for this weekend. More humidity. Summer's back, Joey.
Of course, and it'll be good to maybe some areas can dry out a little bit.
Need to do that as well.
Showers yesterday.
That's right.
All right, thanks, Keen. Thank you for joining us, everyone. Have a great night.